Is it his strength, both physical and mental? His determination? His heritage? His ability to attract others? Depending on who you ask, the answer may change. But to me, the essence of manhood isn't found in genetics or surface traits. A man is the sum of his choices, what he decides to do with the body, mind, and circumstances he's been given. And when we look at superheroes through this lens, no character was ever meant to embody this ideal more than Superman. But how does James Gunn's 2025 Superman hold up against this timeless vision? In this video, I want to explore how this new cinematic portrayal of Superman may very well be one of the most powerful representations of genuine masculinity we've seen in years. Masculinity is a concept, a social idea. At its core, it's the answer to the question, what should a man be? And for generations, people have tried to define it with things like muscle mass, emotional stoicism, or how well someone can fix a car. But in my view, true masculinity can't be reduced to cliches or stereotypes. Real masculinity is built on three foundations: integrity, self-discipline, and self-awareness. And Gunn's Superman embodies all three. Values shape our actions. And those values, those unshakable principles that guide us even when things get tough, are what make up a man's integrity. A man with integrity doesn't bend when tempted by power, popularity, or profit. He stays rooted in what he knows is right. Without that core of belief, a man is easily swayed. Opportunistic, like Aaron Burr in Hamilton. A man without conviction, who waited for the winds to change before choosing a side. He lacked principle and in the end, lost everything. Compare that to Superman. In Gunn's film, there's a powerful scene where a gigantic beast is tearing through Metropolis. Superman doesn't know what it is, where it came from, or what it wants. But one thing he does know, it's a lie. While the Justice Gang descends with brute force and reckless abandon, fighting carelessly and endangering bystanders, Superman approaches the chaos with humanity. He tries to minimize damage, save lives, and understand the threat instead of immediately destroying it. He even goes out of his way to rescue a squirrel, because to him, no life is insignificant. It's moments like these that define him. Not because they're easy, but because he always chooses the harder, better path. He chooses to protect, even when others want to destroy. Integrity gives us the why. Discipline gives us the how. And in this film, Superman's discipline is front and center. Whether it's his composure in the face of a black hole, or the restraint he shows when standing face to face with Lex Luthor after his sanctuary was violated, his AI assistants destroyed, and his beloved dog, Crypto, goes missing. Superman doesn't lash out. He doesn't let anger take the wheel. He channels it, controls it. He could easily end Lex in a single moment. But he doesn't. Because Superman understands that brute force isn't the solution to every problem. That is discipline. And it's a message we desperately need today. In an age where aggression, mockery, and shameless self-promotion are applauded, Superman shows us that real strength is staying calm when the world wants you to explode. Even when he's being jeered at, blamed, and called a menace by the very people he's trying to save, he doesn't retaliate. He remains composed, because morality isn't a performance for him, it's a responsibility. Lastly, and perhaps most profoundly, this version of Superman knows he's not perfect. That's rare in any hero, let alone a man as powerful as him. In this film, Gunn reintroduces Superman not as a god, but as someone deeply human. From the very first scene, we see a man who has doubts, weaknesses, and the humility to learn from others. He leans on his friends, his allies, and even Lois Lane. He doesn't try to carry the entire world on his shoulders, and that doesn't make him weak, it makes him wise. One of the most powerful parts of this Superman is that he listens, he learns, and he grows. Whether it's being called out for talking about himself in third person or reflecting on his complicated relationship With his Kryptonian parents, he chooses growth over ego. This is self-awareness, and it's a quality that we often ignore when talking about what it means to be a man. But it might just be the most important, because acknowledging you're wrong isn't weakness. Admitting fault doesn't make you less of a man. In fact, it makes you more of one. And then there's Lex. Cold, arrogant, calculating, everything Superman is not. Lex lacks all three pillars. He has no moral compass, he acts impulsively, and he's blinded by his own ego. Even when he knows he's the problem, he does nothing to change. Because being aware of your flaws means nothing if you refuse to do something about them. And ultimately, that's what destroys him. James Gunn didn't just reboot a franchise, he redefined an icon. His Superman isn't a symbol of perfection. He's a mirror. One that challenges us to be more grounded, more honest, and more compassionate. He inspires us not by being invincible, but by showing us that you don't need to be perfect to be good. So if you're a man watching this, or someone simply trying to understand what true strength looks like, remember, masculinity isn't about dominance or bravado. It's about kindness with boundaries, strength with compassion, and power with humility. This Superman, he's not here to rule us. He's here to remind us we can always choose to be better. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed. New breakdowns like this drop every week, and if you want early access or exclusive bonus content, consider becoming a channel member. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep looking up.